Hi and welcome back. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for being here on Taslimamayaart, and a big shout out to all my amazing channel members. I really appreciate you for your support. Up after me on the Fluid Art Express this week is the wonderfully crafty Ayushu from Ayushu's Crafty Kids Club. Please stay on so you can watch her and give her a sub, like and support. And as usual, you'll find the playlist for our wonderful lineup down in my description box below. So today I'm going to be talking about all the options we have for storing our mixed acrylic paints. Hi friends, I hope you're all okay. I'm just going to do a video on some of the cups and the containers that I tend to use and why I use them. And I've actually ordered something new that I want to show you, and I'm hoping that these will be a better way of storing my mixed acrylic paints. So we're going to start off with some of the cups that I've used in the past. So I tend to reuse a lot of my household items that we buy. So my children love this jelly, and there's lots of other smaller containers like yogurt pots. I wash them out and I reuse them, and that way there's very little wastage. The only thing is that they don't have any lids. Okay, so one of the things I do then is just cover this with a bit of cling film, saran wrap or some tin foil, and that tends to keep for a while. And after I do that, I tend to put them into a container to keep them fresh. I'll show you an example in a second. And here's an example. I just store them in a container that's airtight like this. The other types of containers are kind of ones that you might get a takeaway and have these containers arrive and have yogurts and stuff in here, mint sauce and things. And these are things I also keep. I've got an awful lot of these. Friends of mine keep theirs and give them to me. So that way we can just put the lid back on. And it's not 100% airtight, so you just have to be careful and put them into a larger container that's sealed to keep them as fresh as possible. So there's those. And I'll just show you a few other examples. So here are some examples of those type of containers. Here's another one. It's got a nice little lid. This is pretty airtight. I like this one. This is also one that we get when we order different takeaways and things, and these type of pots arrive. You can also buy these off Amazon. Okay, so you can buy these plastic containers, and the great thing is you can wait until the paint's dry in here and then peel the paint out. So you're not throwing anything down the sink, which I do not recommend. Okay, even when I wash some pots out, sometimes I wash it in a bucket and I sieve that bucket once it's kind of dried up a bit, so that I throw that dried paint into the trash rather than down the sink. Okay, so that's another type of container. There's lots of different sizes. You can see this one. So this is another one that I use, and that again comes with a lot of things that we order. And we've got ones like this as well, more shallow and narrow ones that I tend to use. This has got alexandrite in there, mixed with colour up pigment, and they do keep for a very long time. You have to be careful with your temperature in your room obviously as well. They do store quite well. It's been quite cold and they've been perfectly fine. So here are some examples of possible pots. This is a jelly pot, and when that's empty I can just wash that out and use that again. These are more jelly pots. They can be reused. This is a pudding pot as well, so chocolate pudding and that sort of thing can also be reused. This is the mint sauce that arrives when you order a takeaway. These are the containers I was already showing you. This is a glass jam jar, so you can just use that one as well. And we have other types of pots around the house that can be reused for paint mixing, and there's these ones. They're quite nice. Obviously we need to deal with the fact that there's no lid on there. This is some of my airtight containers, and my kids get a foam clay in, and I can reuse those. They are perfect for mixing paints in. And there's a couple of other things that are everyday usage. These are some containers my friend gave me, and he gets a lot of these for free, so he gave me these containers. The only thing is they're very tall and narrow, so they're tricky when it comes to mixing paint, but they have a screw-on lid, which is really useful, and a screw-on lid literally comes on and off then when you need it. Only problem is it's quite hard to get the paint skin out afterwards because it's so tall and narrow. These are other jars that a friend gave me. The only problem is the plastic here. The paint really adheres quite strongly to this material, this plastic material. I'm not sure why. It's super hard to get paint out of these. I found it super hard anyway. Again, smaller ones as well, and these are kind of snap-on lids, if I can get that off with one hand. So here we go. So these are lids that pop on the top, you know, quite good. They're airtight, but the problem is the paint sticks to them. It's super hard to get them off. So those are some examples of oh yeah, obviously, you know, noodle pots and things as well, really useful for mixing base paint in. So I can also store in lots of throwaway jars like this, with the containers that come with food in them, and they're quite good. Some of them are sealed quite well with the lids. And what I also use, I tend to love these. These are really good, and they're easy to screw off at the top, and they've got a little nib that's attached so you don't lose it for the top of that. And I tend to put a lot of mixed paint in these large bottles, which I've got off Amazon, and I also have these smaller ones, and I'll show you what they are. So these are containers that I bought, pouring bottles really, that I bought from the company fluidart.co in the States, and they're really, really useful. Storing them though, they do last a long time. When you mix your paints and you're storing your paints, they're really brilliant, you know. And there's a twisty nozzle here, so the paint comes out a little at a time, which is great, so you can control how much paint you want coming out of this. And this one's a larger 230ml bottle. Okay, and we've got the smaller ones here as well. You can get them in different sizes. 140ml on this one, and that's the company name. And it's nice when you mix up your paint with your pouring medium to store the different colours in these, and I know a lot of people do that. This is another one here from fluidart.co.uk, and you can see that's quite a nice one as well, with a large and a small nozzle, so you can interchange them, and that's quite a lot fits in there. 500ml this one is, which is really nice. So I've got those as well. I'm going to be mixing up paints to store in those. I've got these tiny ones. These are more for alcohol ink or silicone, really, to store silicone in. You can get them in big sets on Amazon as well. As I said, these were the containers that I found really tricky to get the paint off of. So there's those as well. Now these are something that I recently bought. I quite like them for the way that they're convenient, and what I mean is these are actually baby food cups, and they are plastic, so if you can see, the lid is attached and it just slips on. It's pretty good, you know, in terms of being airtight. It's not 100% airtight, but it does work really well and stores my paint. That's been in there for a couple of months now and it's perfectly fine. So I just spritz a bit of water in it to thin it down again when I need to. So that's Nebula, and that's really nice. And the reason I like these pots, and these were not that long ago that I purchased these, is because they come in a little palette like this. So you've got all the colours and they slot into this little tray, which is perfect really for carrying them around. Otherwise you're lugging individual colours around and trying to find them. I like having this little palette type of storage tray which it comes in, and I'll show you what that is. So in the UK, I'm sure you can buy this in other countries, there's similar products to this, but this is 8 baby food freezer cubes. Okay, so they're about 70ml, 2.5 ounce roughly cubes. Okay, so you can keep baby food in these obviously, but I use them for painting, and they're quite nice. They slip out and they're not too expensive. I'll try and put the price down in my description box below and find the link to them on Amazon, but there they are. You can also buy them off eBay actually, cheaper possibly. So there's those ones. So the problem with these plastic cups is you do need to tend to have to peel it out, and that can take a long time. I usually have a bucket where I throw all of the dried ones down, and I spend like a couple of hours every so often just peeling the paint out and throwing it away. They do peel out, but sometimes it can be quite stubborn with some types of plastic cups. For example, this particular container was really stubborn to get paint out. It really adheres too well. It takes a while to peel out. It tends to break up for some reason, whereas other cups, depending on the type or the grade of plastic, are easier to peel out for some reason. I hate having to do that regularly, so what I did was I invested in quite a lot of these lovely silicone cups, and it makes life so much easier if you're an acrylic pourer and you like paint pouring, to just wait until the paint is dried up in here, and it peels out so easily, honestly, and you just throw it in the trash, so you don't, you know, have to worry about mixing it with water or washing it down the sink or anything like that. And these are really cool. They're 100ml. Okay, I think you can get slightly bigger cups. I know I had one with my resin that came with my resin set, which was much bigger. I don't know where it is at the minute, but I would show you if I had it. But it's basically like 3 times this size. So you can get these, a pack of 8 or a pack of 6 off Amazon as well. And they're really nice if you want to spend more time pouring and less time cleaning up. So those are brilliant, I can say that for sure. So I'm going to move this out of the way for you and show you something else. So I'll show you some examples of how this paint peels out. you can actually, for a lot of the cups, just peel the entire thing has come out. You can see, actually, the whole thing has come out. So nothing's flushed down the sink, and it's really, really useful to have that. There's that one. Sometimes I also use these brilliant glass ones. Okay, these glass ones are small cups from Ikea, shot glasses, and they're quite cheap, and they're really nice if you're mixing up small batches of paint for a particular technique. And I do use them, and I leave the stir stick inside. And the reason I leave the stir stick inside is so I can pull out. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm pulling out the paint. It's helping me pull out the skin, so the majority of the paint comes out really very easily. I've got very little cleanup to do. I can just scrape these bits out. Okay, the bits on the side, I think they're on this side as well. Yeah, so I can scrape all that out, but most of it's already clean, and it's stuck to the stir stick, which I can then pull off and throw away. Okay, so I can discard that and just clean up my stir stick then. So that's another one, another example of how glass ones are actually really good. And then we have the silicone cups, and the silicone cups is really easy to pull out. They come out straight away. The silicone ones are the easiest to clean up. And then we've got some other cups like this, similar to the other one, I guess. And we can try and peel that off as well. So you can see it doesn't take a lot of doing. Just pull off all the additional extra bits there. And do that as well. So sometimes I just sit there and I pull them off. So it really depends on the kind of cup you've got and the kind of plastic, really, because some plastics are really hard to clean. I've had a couple of cups which are impossible because it's just the paint adheres to them so well it doesn't come off as clean as this. Okay, so yeah, that's another way of doing it. So yeah, this cup is actually quite hard to clean out as well, but again, like I said, some of them are super easy, you know, and you can just throw it in the bin. Okay, and that's it really. That's how I use the different types of cups. But it's again, the easiest to clean is this one. Second easiest is the glass, so silicone glass, and then some of these plastic ones. Okay, depending on the grade of plastic as well and whether or not it peels off. So today I had a lovely delivery, and I'm really excited and looking forward to using these. Okay, so I have this. It's one of my belated Mother's Day presents. I had a couple of others I will show you on a future video, but all kind of creative pouring related. So move those out of the way so I can pop this down here for you so you can see. So what this is containers for my paints, and it's something that my other half found on Amazon which looked really interesting. They're called Moonkie, the brand, and it's lovely because I'm just going to open that up for you and show you what's in there. So you can see these amazing containers. I opened it and I was like, wow, I love this. Look at this. And they're lovely pastel colours, and they've got a little air vent at the top so you can completely pull off. Okay, so these are obviously baby food containers again, which are great to keep. But guess what? The entire thing is food grade safe, obviously, and the entire thing, which is kind of really well secured lid here. You can see the lid is double lipped, so it keeps it airtight for sure. But the entire thing is actually silicone. So even the cup here, if you look at this, look, silicone. So it means that it's a tough silicone though. It's actually tough, and it's quite big, which is nice the size if I do bigger canvases. So you can see it's a 4-ounce cup. And also what you can find out is that actually I imagine this will be brilliant for paint pouring because it's silicone, so ideally, like rationally, it should peel out, right? I shouldn't need to wash any of these. So that's the plan. I'm going to test these out. I'll let you know in a future, possibly a video or a short, or maybe even on the community tab, whether these work out well or not. But I'm really thinking that this is super promising. Look how well it snugly fits back on that lid. Okay, and it's airtight. And it's brilliant, and it's perfect size, you know, it fits in my hand. And there's all these colours, so I can't wait to try these out and see whether these are actually better containers for my acrylic paints that I've mixed up with all my different pouring mediums, you know, and keeping them safe and keeping them secure, and also making life easier to clean up. Okay, so the biggest pet peeve for all acrylic pour artists is cleaning up and wasting time cleaning up. So hopefully this will solve some of the problem for me. So I'm going to do a little experiment. I poured some yellow paint into here. I'm just going to make sure it's up the sides and then let it dry. in room temperature and see how easy it is to peel it off this silicone cup that I've just purchased, to see what these products are like and whether they're actually really good in terms of cleanup and it all comes off in one go, or whether I have to scrape it out, which is time consuming. So yep, I'm just going to then let this dry now and then see what happens. And I'll let you know what happens with these new brilliant cups that I've got and see if it works. Bye for now. Okay guys, so I left this cup on its side on a radiator to try and get it to dry faster, and it's time to test it now and see if it comes off. Look, it lifts off so super easily. I didn't even have to try. And another thing I noticed is that the paint actually pulls together. It doesn't spread out and stick against the cup. It's perfect for paint pouring. So I'm super impressed with this cup. The fact that it's airtight, the fact that it's silicone grade, and the paint actually pulls together and you can peel it off so super easy. I'm really excited about Moonkie brand. I'm not affiliated with them, so there's no reason for me to do this post. But yeah, definitely going to be using these and looking forward to it. Thanks for watching the product review. Any good? Absolutely, it's perfect. I'll put a link into the description box below for anyone interested in these. Thank you for watching so much. I hope that was useful and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. But do stay on the Express because our You Choose Crafty Kids Club is up next, followed by Ben and Fluid Art.